All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Here we are again, Manishevitz, anyone. And this is part 2. So today I'm tasting with a couple of friends from the J. I've known them for quite a while now. I think Irit I've known for approximately 4 years. I'm going to introduce them in a second. And Sam, I've known for about 2 years at the J. He's been coming to the J, but I've known Sam before from another part of my life, which was at college, where I went to Humber College through another friend, and I subsequently met Sam during those travels. So today I'm going to introduce the two of them. I was going to play a little trick with a blindfold, but there's my blindfold. But it's impossible because they have the bottles of wine. I can't have the bottles of wine. So that's how we're going to do the blind tasting today. It's figuratively, it's not literally, as we said in the expression. What we're going to do today is I'm going to taste a couple of kosher wines that Sam has and a wine that Irit has. So without further ado, let me bring the two of them into the screen today. And we'll do a nice, I can't do a round of applause. We'll do a warm welcome. Irit's I think on the left side, right side, I'm not sure, but we'll see how that goes. And then Sam Glass on the other side, right? Those are my two guests today. So without further ado, before we actually start talking wine and start talking all about what's going to happen this afternoon, I'm just going to have Rit say a couple of words about herself, why she likes the J, why she comes to the J, and Sam will talk straight after that and say why he's at the J. And we can always plug our pickleball, Sam, that we play every Saturday morning. We can always do that if we want to. So Rit, you go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I've been a member in the J for quite a while. It's a very special place for me. I guess it started, my kids went to the daycare and then later to the after school program. And it's just become a second home. I have a lot of people to connect with similar backgrounds. And I love going to the gym. It's just my happy place.
Awesome. Sam, a little bit about you. A short story, Sam. Make this a short story.
Once I get started. So I've been going to the J for about 2 years now. As Dion mentioned, we have a mutual friend from the culinary world that I'm part of. And I'm one of Dion's pickleball buddies every Saturday, and I desperately miss pickleball. But hopefully when this is all over, hopefully we'll all be able to get back to the J, whether it's playing pickleball or whether it's going to the gym or some other activity. I look forward to being back there sooner than later.
Okay, thank you, Sam. So those are my two guests today. Very, very special, dear friends to me. I had a haircut today. I have to just quickly say my wife did an excellent job. I have to plug that in there quickly because I'm kind of astounded. Thanks, Irit. What we're going to do today is I just want to make a correction from last week because one of my viewers said that we were tasting wines that had been flash pasteurized, which was the expression wasn't Meshuval, it was Mevushal. And the reason I said Meshuval because I was drinking a lot of wine and I was probably in sugar. No pun intended. Sugar, Meshugar. There you get it, right? Mefujal is the actual right usage of that term, flash pasteurization. And while we're still on that, a lot of wines, I had a debate. I spoke to a fellow Somalia the other day, and he said to me, the flash pasteurization wines, even though they've done that, they're still not that great. Just go straight for the kosher wines without the flash pasteurization. The only thing then is it cannot be served by somebody who isn't Jewish in a restaurant, etc., etc. So today, I'm not quite sure if Irit's got 100% kosher wines with flash pasteurization. I don't know. Sam has a cellar, and he had a couple of bottles of kosher wine in that cellar. So I'm sort of going to guess. And we're going to let's start with Sam first, is what type of wines he likes to drink. Now, because I know their personalities a little bit, I might get away with murder, and become a genius in some respect, because to guess somebody's wine taste is almost impossible. Remember last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about super tasters. I'm pretty sure Irit's a super taster. So she likes sweet things. So I may be on the right case of thinking she drinks white wines. So we'll see in a second if I'm correct about that. right? The smile tells me maybe she's giving it away a little bit. And Sam's been in the game a long time now, right? He's been in the culinary world for a long time. I think Sam's a whiskey drinker. I think he likes reds, but he brought two to the show, yeah. I'm even hoping that Sam brought a dessert wine, maybe. He said he had something special for me to see, because it's very rare that I've ever seen kosher wines that are dessert wines. And I'll talk a little bit to that as well, because there's special techniques in making those dessert wines. Now, when we talked last week about making wine. Before you can even make wine, you've got to talk about viticulture and vinification. Viticulture is what happens in the actual vineyard, and that's Mother Nature. She does her stuff. The heat temperature's got to be right, the climate's got to be right, the soil's got to be right, the slope's got to be right, it's got to be in the right place in the world. West Coast wines generally do better than East Coast wines, hence California does well, hence France, Bordeaux, Burgundy, all those areas do really, really well in the wine world, so to speak. And kosher wines are predominantly made in those areas on the Californian West Coast and on the French West Coast. So those particular wines we're going to look into in some respects if they come up in the tasting that we're going to do. So there's one process I just want to talk to someone quickly about. Maybe Sam's actually heard of this process, but when I was lucky enough, when I was living in the UK, I went to it wasn't a kosher winery. It was a winery in the south part of Burgundy region. And they did a process there. This will interest you as well. It's called carbonic maceration, right? Where they actually make Beaujolais wine. And I was looking this week to see in the LCBO to see if they had any kosher Beaujolais, and I couldn't find any. But I'm hoping that one day we'll do this. It's made with the Gamay grape, and what it is basically they will take in a big vat. They put all the bunches of grapes just picked from the vineyard, place them all on top of each other. And what it does is they press each other down naturally, and you get something called carbonic maceration. So the grapes actually become fertilized themselves, and that's what happens. You get wine, right? But the smells are incredible, and it smells like bubble gum and bananas. It's just an amazing flavor presence. But you also get drunk. I walked out of there and I pretty much fell over, right? Because the CO2, as we all know, you need sugar, you need yeast, gives you CO2 and alcohol. That's basically wine in a nutshell. And I was like, my head was spinning from the CO2. And the guy says, you should leave now. You're looking a bit pale. So one of those wines, and normally they're light red wine. And so the process that they make these Beaujolais is allowing the grapes to sit with the red skins for a little while. And then they siphon it off. And it's a method called Saigny, making a sort of like a rosé wine. So now that I've shared a little bit of knowledge about vineyards and different types of processes, we're going to start with Sam. And Sam, I don't know which way to start with you because you got two bottles over there, right? So let's just say, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you've got a white. One of your wines is a white wine, right?
That is correct.
Okay, 50-50. Yep. There we go, right? So far I'm looking like a genius, right? So we're going to start with that first white wine. Actually, I need a sip of something. So cheers, guys. I know you can't do it yet, but I'm going to do it. I won't get there yet. Sam, so I've got a little cheat sheet in front of me, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, right? And you've got the wine glass in front of you, right? Sam, you've got the wine
bottle in front of me.
Okay, perfect. The color, is it straw, gold color?
Yes.
Gold or straw?
Yes.
Yes,
straw.
That's what I'm getting. Okay, Sam, when you smell the wine, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Does it smell like lemon, lime, or grapefruit?
No.
No. And this is a white wine. Does it smell like apple, pear, or peach? I'm going to give up very, very soon because I'm heading down the wrong track here already. Apple, pear, or peach? None of those?
A little fruit to it, yes.
A little fruit. Okay. Have you actually tasted this yet, Sam? Have you opened the bottle up and drunk it?
I've had it before. I know exactly what it tastes like.
Okay, is it on the palate? Remember I talked 2 weeks ago about the olfactory bulb and the flavors and the intensity. Is there a sour flavor? What type of flavors are coming through?
I'm going to say a little bit sour, a little bit fruity.
A little bit fruity. Okay, so from a varietal point of view, that's telling me that there may be a Chardonnay. It's not telling me much really what you got in your hand right there, right? So we have to see now, can you smell any vanilla, any type of those flavors? Because that's telling me there's a little bit of oak maturation there. What do you think, Sam?
As far as I know, no oak.
No oak. Okay, should I try my first guess straight away now? See what you got?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, are you sitting with a Sauvignon Blanc?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, this is going to get really, really tricky there. I'm hoping you're sitting with that dessert wine over there, which is a Vidal. Maybe. Right? So let me go back quickly right now, because I'm going to go back to the process now. Most of this, you never get right. I know a friend who's a master sommelier, and to do his test, he had to go and do 4 wines, guess what they are, guess where they're from, what region, sometimes even a klimat, which is a little vineyard. They have to try and guess, and they sip these and they taste it. They have to be that unique and that good. Now, I don't know all the kosher wines in the world, so I'm going to fault this one. It's going to be an easier taster, right? Because Sam's got something there unique that he wanted to surprise me with, right? So Sam, tell me what you got from the white wine and tell me a little bit about it.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions now.
Sure.
This particular wine generally pairs well with Asian food.
So it's nice one that goes with spice. So Sam will understand this words I'm going to say now. Spice is not something you can taste. It's a chemosensory irritation. What that is that on your nose, it interferes with you. And normally wines that go nice with it have a little bit of acidity. I don't know if I've ever seen a Gewürztraminer kosher wine, but maybe a Riesling wine might be what you have in your hand there.
Bingo, we have a winner.
Wow, now I'm looking really, really good. So Riesling is because they've got a nice bit of residual sugar. Oh, wow. And it's a vintage as well. And I'm pretty sure this is a German Riesling.
No.
No? Oh, from the Alsace. Okay, well.
Alsace.
Yeah, well, Alsace, thank you, Sam. That's amazing, because the Alsace, actually, in some respects, I'm not wrong, and in some respects, I'm wrong, because Alsace goes in 2 ways. And sometimes Alsace, it used to belong to the Germans, and then it belongs to the French. And now, normally, when they make Alsace, these Rieslings, the Rieslings, I believe, I didn't see that in the LCBO. So that must be a real vintage one that you found somewhere. It's really, really nice. And I was cheating a little bit. I went to the LCBO and I was looking around the shelves to see if I could see what might come up with Sam's tasting. He's got a very sophisticated palate. And the fact that I got the Riesling there is because the French ones, they make them in more of a drier style as opposed to the German Rieslings. They make them a little bit more sweeter or residual sugar. So great wine there, Sam. How's that tasting? I mean, have a sip. Show the viewers that you.
I've had it before. I'm not prepared to open it. I'm waiting.
Oh, you're not?
So I actually was contemplating opening this for my Seder this year.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't have the right pairing. This would really, really pair well with, actually, if I were to smoke some turkey and serve the Riesling with it, would be amazing. And I probably bought this bottle about 3 or 4 years ago at Vintages. So nice. That's why I probably didn't see it.
Sam, did you tell everybody that you're a chef at Centennial? Did you say that in the intro?
No.
You didn't? Folks, let me tell you, Sam is a professor chef at Centennial College, right? So that's why I said he has a sophisticated, I'm slurring again, sophisticated palate, right? Where he knows what he's talking about when it comes to cooking and all that type of things. And he knows a little bit about kosher food as well, right? He was teaching me a couple of things when I saw him cycling in the gym the other day. I asked him, Sam, what about kosher cooking? And he told me this one recipe. You told me you did something a couple of days back with you cooked up a really, really nice recipe. What was that one again, Sam?
It could have been the turkey curry with sweet potatoes.
Yes, that is exactly what you told me.
And that would have paired very well with the Riesling as well.
100%. That's why I brought it up, right? Because the acidity would go nicely with the chemosensory irritation I was talking about, the spiciness, and sour. A little bit of sour goes nicely with a little bit of sour, and sour can cut through sweetness as well, which is really, really nice. That was tough. I'm surprised I actually got that one. But Sam, I'm going to be drinking that one with you because I've never tasted that before. And that looks like it hasn't got flash pasteurization. Am I right? That's not Mevushal. That's just kosher.
It is actually Mevushal.
Really? Mevushal, Meshuggah, yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's Mevushal.
Wow. And you said that ranks out there in some of the top Rieslings that you've had?
I've had some of the great Rieslings and Gewürztraminers, believe me. This is just for me, we were all raised on Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay and whatever back in the kosher world. And now that we're able to get a little bit more variety, be it from France. I mean, this Pesach, I opened up a red wine from Moldova, of all places, and it drank very well. The kosher wine world has changed. It used to be 90% Israeli, Carmel, whatever, but now there's a lot more demand for it, for different varieties.
Yeah, like I said 2 weeks ago, anything but Chardonnay. You're right. I mean, the regions that are in Israel, the Galilee, I didn't describe last week, actually it's divided into 3 regions. There's Upper Galilee, there's Lower Galilee, and just the Galilee region, right? I looked when I was in the LCBO, like if someone told me, look for anything that comes from the Judean hills, right? Because in the Judean hills, they're smaller vineyards, but producing some quality wines. And I looked at the topography, and that means the land, the terroir. Let me explain terroir quickly. Terroir is somewhereness, right? We all come from somewhere. We all bring that somewhere with us. So if you look at a Bordeaux wine, or you look at the terroir that it comes from, that's the earth, that's the soil, that's the climate. It just has something like that. And these master sommeliers, when they taste all these things, and that's why they get it, because they ask, where's this terroir? And they, in their heads, from all that tasting that they've done over the years, they pretty much can pick it up, because that terroir tells them each wine has a particular terroir. And they have sophisticated palates. We're nowhere near that. I just like to drink wine. And if wine tastes good, I'm good to go. So, Sam, I'm going to give you a quick little break there on the next one. We're going to go to Rit. Been waiting there patiently.
Very patiently.
Patiently. So you might have to ask me questions as well, Rit, because we'll see how this goes, right? I just know your tastes. Why?
I think you're going to get it quickly.
Yeah, I might.
I think
because you asked me in the J, from time to time when I'm in the J and I'm sitting in my office, you always say to me, Dion, what's a good wine to go with this? Right? And on both those occasions, I asked you told me about a white wine once, and then my favorite, and remember I talked about male grapes and feminine grapes, I think you talked about a Pinot Noir. I think I recommended a Pinot Noir for you as well.
Possibly, yeah.
And I wasn't, possibly, that's right. You've asked me quite a few times on wine, so... and so far I've been pretty good, right? On getting those wines matching up for the dinners that you're going to have. So that was pretty good. But we said earlier, and I mean, I was talking about blush wines. You're going to blush? No blushing. Blush wines and how they make those. I mean, Zinfandel from California is a real powerful wine. But by fluke, when somebody wanted to keep the skins in contact with the juice, from the free run juice from the wine, what happened is they bled it off out of the vat, and they got this beautiful blush wine. And it wasn't heavy. It was not some big on the tannins. It was just very, very easy drinking. They chilled it. The lady said, I love this wine. So if you go into all kosher wines, and you see a blush wine, those are very, very easy drinking. They go with light meats, light fish, all those type of things. So we're going to go back to Irit quickly right now. Irit, so we said earlier you have a white wine there, right?
Did we say that?
Yeah, I think we did. Oh,
yeah.
nice.
No, we do. We do. We have a white wine.
So have you tasted this wine already?
I have.
I knew you couldn't wait. I just knew you couldn't wait, right?
It's part of the research.
As part of the research, right? What, you got this wine, 2-3 days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you bought it because of the label, or is it because you knew what the varietal was?
I bought it because I thought of all the wines, it would be something I would probably like the most.
Okay, let me go straight away. Last time you got a Riesling. Is this a Riesling as well?
No.
It's not.
No.
That's different. I would have thought you would have stayed with the same wine, because most people pick wines that they like and they stick with it, right? You get used to those very, very things, right? So now I actually have to ask you questions, or because you read the label, you can ask me some questions. Is there any, when you tasted it and when you smelt it, were there hints of apple, pear, tropical fruit?
It smells like alcohol. I can't really smell the fruit, but I know it has like fruitiness in it.
Right. So when you smelled it, it smelled like grapes, right? Well, that's what happens. Because that's what happens when people first start drinking wine. It just smells like grapes because there's no memories attached to it, right? Mm-hmm. You have to eat food with grapes, basically, with wine to sort of get some memories. Fruit normally is a good way to taste wines and drink wines. But you said this tastes a lot of fruit, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of fruit. Was it like, I got my cheat sheet over here. Was it tropical fruits, or was it like citrus fruits?
There's citrus. Yeah.
Okay, so lemon, lime, grapefruit?
Should I tell you?
No, is it like lemon, lime, or grapefruit?
It's not any of those.
It's not?
No.
It's getting interesting right now. Like I might have to, basically you might have to tell me, because I don't want to look too good like a genius over here, right? But is it Chardonnay?
Okay, wait, let me see. No, it's not a Chardonnay.
It's not a Sauvignon Blanc either?
No.
Wow. This has really gone out of your different, you normally wouldn't taste something like this, right? Show me the bottle.
No.
Yes.
You have to guess.
I have to guess?
Yes. Okay, it's a very sweet wine.
It's a sweet wine?
Very sweet, yeah. And not a lot of alcohol in it.
Is it a
dessert? Should I tell you the percentage? It's 5.5%.
Oh, that's very low.
Yeah.
So it's a dessert wine then?
It's a dessert wine.
Is it a Vidal?
No.
What other varietals? I'm trying to think that dessert wines I've got there. And it's kosher.
It's kosher.
There was only one bottle there, but I didn't look at the varietal.
You underestimate me.
I did underestimate you, because you're drinking something that's normally not in your usual. But I know you like the sweetness, so I got that straight away. But this varietal is escaping me right now. Because tell me what the varietal is, because I'm curious.
Okay, let me give you a hint. I'm reading it here. Okay. Showing hints of peaches and melon.
Muscat.
Yeah.
There we go. Beautiful.
Show the bottle?
Beautiful. It's funny. I'm looking. I just want to.
There we go.
Beautiful. I've never seen that before. Where's it from? Which region?
Israel.
In Israel?
It's an Israel sweet. Yeah, Israel.
Does it just say Israel? It doesn't.
It says Israel. Israeli sweet white wine. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't tell you the region.
Let me read it. I don't see the region.
Okay, so it's generally just a table sweet wine. And with making sweet wine process, what they do is you don't really get a lot of alcohol, because they leave a lot of sugar there. Right?
That's why I like it.
Yeah, but the problem
is... It doesn't taste like alcohol. It tastes like juice.
Exactly. The problem is you can drink a lot of that. And
not corn syrup.
It's not corn syrup. It's not Manishevitz. That's for sure.
No.
You can drink a lot of that and you'll get a little tipsy very, very quickly, because it's like drinking like grape juice. Yeah. But the funny thing, you should say that when they did Muscat was the first wine that actually smells and tastes like grape, right? All the others, when you get used to tasting them, it actually smells like all those other flavors that you talked about. But the moment you said to me it's a dessert wine, and the moment you said peach and all that, Muscat flavors come through. And there's a couple of Muscat varietals. The most well-known one is Muscat of Alexandria, which came from the Egypt area, which was one of the very first place to practice modern viticulture, right? Which is how they made the wine. They pressed the wine and they made it in almost modern standards, but they used to stand in it, right? Could you imagine that? Climbing into the bucket and actually pressing it with your feet. Next time when I come on again, I'll show you Lemmy later. There's a picture of this lady in France. She's busy stomping the grapes and she gets so tipsy she falls out onto the front of it. It's on YouTube. Everybody look at everybody packs out laughing, right? It's really, really funny. Let me go back to Sam because we're running out of time right now. Thank you for that. Enjoy the wine, and we'll come back and we'll say goodbye in a couple of little minutes. Okay, Sam, we're already halfway through. We're halfway through. We're supposed to only have 25 minutes, so we're going to have to get quickly onto this last wine. It's a red, I believe.
No,
it's not. You did a double whammy there. You did 2 whites on me. And you're going to have to do it the other way around as well, where you ask me questions and maybe I can guess the wine quickly, because you said this was unique. You had something very, very special for me.
This is not the unique. The unique will come after this.
Oh, there's one more after this.
Well, it's kind of pretty unique. It's a bit of history. We'll leave it at that.
So let's quickly guess this one if we can, so that our viewers can see what it is, and then tell me about the other one, because that sounds like it's really intriguing me right now.
So this particular wine has a very high alcohol content.
For a white?
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's a Chardonnay.
Nope.
Wow. Okay, because Chardonnays really they seem to be okay when you go higher with the alcohol content with them.
15.5%.
15.5?
Yep.
That seems like it's fortified.
I don't think it is.
Because I didn't know that you could go past 15 to make a wine as we know a wine, right? Normally it becomes a fortified wine when you add alcohol to stop the process.
Well, what's the alcohol content on an ice wine?
Oh, okay. So normally this is
not an wine. This is not an ice wine, though.
No, normally it's about 10 to 12 on an ice wine. Normally about 10.
So I would say this one is definitely a varietal.
Yeah.
It's not a blend.
Okay, so it's a single varietal.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if it's an ice wine,
it's not an ice wine.
I didn't know Vidal was kosher.
It's not an ice wine.
Oh, I might have lost you completely right now, because at 15% you got me totally thrown off.
It comes from the Samson region of Israel.
Wow, that's something totally unique to me, right? Sam, share it with our viewers, because there's no ways I'm going to get this.
Okay, so if we can see this. This is a
Muscat as well. Okay.
But it's not Dalton. This is a Carmel, actually. I think we've got the sign. This is a Carmel Muscat.
Yeah.
From the Samson region, 15.5% alcohol.
That's high.
And it's actually more of an orangey pink color versus a white.
Is that open, Sam?
No.
Oh, okay. That's.
I have to find a reason. Okay.
I'm going to give you a reason. As soon as this is over, I'm coming to visit you, because I've never tasted something like that. Now, it's funny that dessert wine you talked about is that Muscat grape I'm talking about. There's actually, from clones and various Muscats, you get the Muscat of Alexandria. That might be a different varietal from a clone related to the Muscat of Alexandria, because you said that's a darker color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so most of the Muscats that you find will actually be white grapes. Some of the Muscat varietals are actually darker grapes. They're pinkish to a reddish color. I imagine the one that Sam's got, there's a pinkish to a reddish color to give that Muscat of, I'm not sure what the varietal is, but that 15.5%, that's high in alcohol, right? So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of fortification there, but I don't know. But you remember where it's from, in Israel. The grapes and where the soil it's being grown from. Where was it in Israel? It's being
Samson.
The Samson. So that's in the, like, it's, remember I talked 2 weeks ago about Paul. That's in valleys, right? They get cool nights and warm days, right? Which means that the percentage of sugar that grows in these grapes as it gets later into the harvest time, around about fall, or more sugar concentration comes in. And Sam, I'm wondering if there's any Botrytis cinerea in there. And I'm going to explain that quickly. Botrytis cinerea, they use it to make late harvest dessert wines. And that actually allows it to produce more sugar in the grape and more concentration. So when you have relatively in the fall, you have the rains and you get this wet climate or wet weather, the sugar builds up really, really quickly, and you get something called noble rot, Botrytis cinerea, which actually goes into the grape and allows the sugar concentrate to build up really, really, really nice and sweet. And hence you get the, once we know with more sugar, you can get more alcohol out of that particular wine, because there's more sugar to work with. And we know as the alcohol ferments, we get more sweetness staying there. We don't have to fully ferment it to keep the dessert wine. That's great, Sam. What's the other wine you have, the one that's unique?
So this is a piece of history.
Wow.
It's an empty bottle, but if you can see the label here.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So that's
what vintage was that?
If it says Palestine on it, it's pre-1948.
Wow.
This was just a bottle sitting, I think, in my grandparents' cellar, empty, and I refused to throw this out. So this
why would you?
This is Carmel wine before 1948.
That's really, really interesting.
So this bottle is at least 72 years old.
Sam, send me a picture of that label later, right? Because I really want to study that label. I mean, and any information you've got on it, I really, really like to see. That's unique, right?
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that, because some dessert wines, which really, really top dessert wines, because of the residual sugar that's in them, it can last a long time. They age really, really, really well. And you can keep some of them for like 20 years, 25 years, some of these dessert wines or these Rieslings that have been aged really, really well. So with that ado, I mean, I had a lot of fun today, guys. I got 2 out of 3, right? Irit, I got 2 out of 3. It's not too bad.
You did well.
I did pretty well, right? Considering you know what, I've had a couple of glasses before. I always had to have a couple of glasses before, right? But Sam, that was amazing that you've got those type of things with kosher wines, and just shows the variety and depth you can have with kosher wines. And the two of you brought to me something I never thought you'd bring me, the muscats, right? Arit, you really threw me there. I was in no ways did I ever think you were going to bring me that wine. So that was exceptional, right, guys? So for the rest of the afternoon, and as this is Manishevitz, anyone, we have to do, I don't know if you have a glass of wine in front of you, but I've always got to. You do?
It's almost empty.
Well, yes, it's my signature send-off right now. So I just want to thank Irit for joining me right now. I just want to thank Sam. Sam, that was amazing. Irit, that was amazing. It was really fun talking with the two of you. Your wine knowledge has definitely increased, Irit. Don't know what you've been doing the last couple of weeks, but you've been doing something. This is my Manishevitz, everybody. The saying is Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Chaim.
Thank you very much.